Hi, I am Renfeldi, American-British fiber artist and writer currently residing in mid-Wales. And I am pattern testing the Lovette Sweater by Famke, who is the creator of Mipi the Label. Now this is my first pattern test, hence why I want to record it. I watch a lot of the Norwegian knitters podcasts and videos, and she talks heavily about how she is the final project knitter, not a process knitter. So for her, it's the dopamine of finishing a project, being able to wear it, being able to either or gift it to someone, and I'm definitely like that. I don't usually enjoy the process of making my projects. I usually kind of find it quite frustrating. I don't remember what's going on in my life when I make it. If I put on a sweater or a hat or anything, I usually just remember honestly being kind of frustrated making it, or the opposite and being like, oh yeah, I'm really happy with how this turned out. I don't remember the process of making it, and I want to. I want to remember the process of putting on a sweater like the Lovette Sweater and remembering everything that was going on in my life while I was making that. And the main reason why I'm doing that now is because I am 8 months pregnant, which is really exciting. And the sweater is due a week before my baby's due. So obviously I would like to finish this way before the deadline, because I don't think a week before my due date I'm gonna want to be blocking a sweater and posting pictures of it. So I have my own due date in my head of wanting to get this done, but also I really like the pattern. I really love the color work especially. So I do want to get it done as soon as possible because I really want to wear it. Originally, I wasn't going to pattern test. However, when she posted on her story that she was still looking for pattern testers size large or bigger, I thought it was a sign. Because usually I am about a medium to a large. However, with being pregnant, I have to accommodate for the bump. And I was mainly looking at length. So I am going to make the 2X sweater. And I would like to wear it while pregnant. So yeah, it's also my first top-down sweater. So along with being my first pattern test, my first top-down sweater, it's also the first project I've made a gauge with, which is really exciting. I wasn't going to make a gauge swatch because I never do. I know, tisk tisk. But I was like, oh, as a pattern test, I should probably make it. And now after making it, I realized that a lot of people, when they make it, add extra to it. So you do 4 stitches on both sides and 2 rows top and bottom. However, I didn't look up videos on how to make a gauge swatch until after I made it, which doesn't make sense in the process, but that's what I've done, and I blocked it, and it does fit the right dimensions. So feast your eyes on Ren's first gauge swatch. It's cute, isn't it? So this is the main color I'm gonna do for my sweater. I'm using Chestnut from King Cole, which is a superwash merino blend, and I have 9 skeins. And there's 2 color work colors, like a pink and a darker pink / red. I like the red. I want to use more red in my wardrobe. However, I struggle to not find red quite intense. I don't want a neon red. So, and looking online, it's hard. I bought my yarn online from a warehouse. So it's hard to tell, and I did look on Ravelry because you can type up the yarn and look at other people's pictures, but I just wanted to play it safe. So for the first color work color, I've got Desert Rose, and for the second one, I have just Rose. I have 2 of these and 1 of these. I only need 100 meters for the second color. This skein is exactly 100 meters. I didn't want to have to buy an extra one, so I'm hoping this will be enough, and I won't have to buy another one and only barely use it. These are both from Garnstudio. It's Drops Karisma. They're but also superwash merino, and all of these are DK yarn. So yeah, my gauge is done. My yarn is collected, and the next step for me in this process is the collar is done. Yeah, so the next thing is the color work yoke. I'm feeling pretty good about it. Obviously this was going to be the easy part, but it was the first official pattern update that happened last night, so I'm quite happy that I didn't start the yoke color work when beforehand, because that's what got updated, the chart. So that works out really well. So I have the new one printed out, so I can do that today. I painted my nails, which I'm very proud of. Some festiveness. And today, my partner and I went baby clothes and essential baby item shopping, which makes me feel really good. I have it going in the wash right now because I was feeling kind of unprepared in the sense. However, that's also because a lot of people give you your advice when you're pregnant, even if you don't want it. And a lot of people also kind of, I think there's a lot of shame around pregnancy, and it's been very hard to navigate. And the way I can proof of that is just, I really struggle with, you know, you want the best for your child, so you're looking up like what's the best, like recommended changing mats, recommended formula, or like should I use formula, should I breastfeed, what bottles, should I use pacifiers. And online there's I feel like everything especially to do with pregnancy, there's like half the bloggers that tell you that if you do this you're a terrible mom and you're gonna kill your child, and the other half is like, this is normal to use, it's helpful for you, it's helpful for the baby, don't like stress. So it's really hard to navigate where to go, and everyone's got their unsolicited advice that they're giving you. So obviously just trying my best, but it feels nice to get more baby stuff done, less stress for the future, and makes me feel a little bit more prepared. Color work yoke is done. Last time we talked, I was hoping I could get the color work done in one day, and it has taken me actually a week. A lot of switching yarns, taking longer than I thought, and also it's a lot. It's quite big compared to making a hat, or a baby hat especially. So I just want to talk over some small pattern adjustments I made and some stuff I wish I did differently. So the first one I did differently is the hearts. The hearts had brown stitches in it, in the pattern, and I chose not to do that. I liked the hearts full. The next was mainly in the flower motif. I did the whole center of the flower with my second color to try to make like the inside of a flower. I did that in between too, and I wish I wouldn't have had it in between the flower motifs and just skipped that, because I feel like with the 4 tiny ones together, I tried to make a tiny flower, but instead it feels like there's a center of a flower where there shouldn't be. I also added my first color work color, so the light pink, I added that in between the little ones between the flowers, just because I didn't really like the look of the line there. But besides it, that's about all I changed. I wish I would have switched the colors around for these 2 lines, so I wish the X and O's were in the light pink, and I wish for this like mountainy bit, the dark pink was the background and the light pink was the top. Mainly because I feel like in my work, the tone of my dark pink is similar tone to the brown, while I feel like with the X's and O's it's kind of lost a little bit. And in the original pattern, with the red being brighter, you can tell that it's not lost in it. And I think some other pattern testers had the same issue of doing their darker tone to their darker color work too close to a tone of their rest of their sweater, the main color, and it just kind of blends in a little bit. So that, I think if you're planning on making this, that's one, I think, or any color work, I think I should have looked at tones more. For the yarn, this is what I left over with one skein. So I didn't use all, what was it, 100 meters? Yeah, 100 meters. I didn't use all of it. So there's, I don't know how much left, but as you can see, there's at least a good chunk. And I barely touched my second skein of pink. I did about 2 rows, the last 2 rows of the flower motif. So it is needed, but I barely touched it. And I was thinking, when I get to the cuffs of the sleeves and the bottom of the sweater, of maybe doing, because there's the roll bit, maybe doing that. Those, like, I believe it's 4 rows. So just a tiny little stripe. And I was thinking I could either do all of them in this, in dark pink if I have enough, or I could do dark pink on the sleeves and light pink on the body. I think just to tie it a little bit together, and also use up some of my yarn, because when I first started crocheting, I hoarded yarn, as one does. But now I'm really trying, especially because I'm moving a lot, I don't want to have yarn unless it's for a project. So when a project gives me leftover yarn, I don't really know what to do with it. This one is enough to probably make, like, I have enough pinks to, especially wool pinks, to make something from leftover projects. I usually try to. Like, I made a bonnet with leftover wool, and that only took about a skein, not even. But this is not really enough to do anything with unless it's an added color to something. So if I could try to maybe use this up, but I don't think I'll be able to. I think it's enough to do sleeves, but I don't think it's enough to do the bottom part. We'll see. Now that I'm outside and we have some really nice light, I thought I'd give you a little update. I don't have my sweater with me, but I did try it on the other day. And the sleeve, about 1 ball of yarn gets me half a sleeve. But I have the sweater to the 22 centimeters, which it's supposed to be. And that hits right here, which is right above my baby bump. So it doesn't cover my stomach. So I'm going to double the length. Instead of doing 22, do 44 so it can fully cover it. However, it does mean I need more yarn because I only have 1 sleeve halfway done. I have 2 balls of yarn left, which is going to give me the rest of that sleeve and maybe the start of the next. And the pattern's being released on Saturday. So Saturday or Sunday. And it's currently Thursday, so I'm not going to be able to finish it in time. But I tried. I really thought I could. I really thought I would be able to. I'm kind of slightly disappointed that I won't be able to. But trying not to beat myself up about it too much. Still working on it though, because I really want it done, and it would be nice to be able to get it done before the baby's due and wear it one day with the baby bump. So we'll see how it goes. Ta-da! So the sweater's tried on. Don't mind this. but I've actually used up all the yarn. All the yarn I originally bought for this project. I had to go out and buy 3 more skeins, and I need a lot more than 3 more skeins. However, this was the only amount left in my dye lot. So I didn't adventure out of my dye lot, I stayed in my dye lot. 3 should be enough to finish the sleeve. However, to get to the length I want, I'm at 27 centimeters and I want 44 centimeters. Because 44 centimeters was the length I needed to finish my baby bump. To reach over my baby bump. As you can tell, it's an okay length for me now. It reaches about my pant line. Pants are high-waisted, so this is actually about my belly button. But I've had my baby. It has been a month since I've seen you, and within that month, I've had my baby. It's been a whirlwind of emotions. I had to have an emergency C-section. His health was deteriorating. My health was deteriorating. He is now okay. I'm still recovering. And what I do want to say about that is it's hard. I've actually really been struggling. And that's one reason why I want to get back to knitting, because I've been taking a break because I've had no energy, and the energy I do have and the time I do have is looking after him. But I'm starting to have more energy, starting to have a little bit more time. So I like to fill those times with knitting. But with 2 days ago, I went to the doctor's for myself. Had to bring my baby with, obviously, because where am I going to put the baby? And the doctor or nurse, I didn't even get to see a doctor, spent more time looking at my baby and queuing over him than actually looking at me, taking me seriously. And that's what it's been like. With the emergency C-section, it was an emergency, didn't go well, and I've had issues recovering and have been sick since. And the doctors, part of that is because the doctors didn't take me seriously. They kind of just focused on the baby. And obviously, I'm glad he's okay, and I'm glad people care and want to make sure he's okay. But it gets to the point now where they're just focusing on him because he's a baby. He's okay now. I'm not. I need your professional help, and you're not giving it to me. And it's hard not to feel neglected, and it's hard not to feel alone. I'm the one taking care of the baby and spending time with him. For me to be able to look after him the best I can, I need to be okay. And it's hard about that. Everyone coming to visit the baby, everyone wanting to see the baby. And I want them to meet him, and I want them to get to know him. But I also want people to look after me and care for me. So yeah, I feel like no one really warned me about this part or really talks about it. So that also caught me out of left field. Yeah, it's been hard. However, I'm hoping doing some knitting will help cheer me up because I do enjoy it. And I feel like I know I'm going to finish the sleeve and the length is going to stay about the same. Hopefully I have enough yarn to at least do the ribbing. But I want it to be longer. I think I'm going to have to just accept that it won't be. I guess I could get into how that's, this sweater is supposed to be a memory sweater of being pregnant and all of that, and that's what I want to start doing with all my crafts, is having them, radiator, sorry about that, have them be a part of time. And maybe that's it. Maybe with the length being shorter, it will be about acceptance, just how I have to accept that birth didn't go how I wanted it, and neither did recovery. Yeah. Sorry to make it a bummer, but let's go get this sleeve done and get at least a little bit closer to finishing this sweater, because I feel like it's taking me forever. Ta-da! It's finally done. It took me, whoops, let me see, 257 days. This sweater was on my needles for 257 days. Famke, if you are watching this, I am so sorry. Not a good test knit, or test knitter. I didn't really think I could get it done. However, with being pregnant and giving birth early and all that, I overestimated my capability. And then I used, I think it was about 14, oh come on. Sorry, I have my phone here with my notes and it's now logging me out. I used about 14 skeins of yarn, and so this just in yarn, it cost me 52 pounds and 38p. I'll have the exact amount of each color and all of that in my Ravelry, which will be linked. But yeah, finally finished. My nails are all chipped and I need to redo them, but I painted my nails red, and I was like, when I painted them red, I was like, do you know what? I need to work on the sweater again. It's been sitting in my bin for too long. So I haven't blocked it. And knowing me, I probably won't. I might just throw it, it's super washed, so I might just throw it in the washer and let it lay out. But, see that side angle? It's a little baggier, but I didn't make it to accommodate being pregnant, and as you can see, my stomach is slowly but surely losing the baby bump, and which is crazy because I wasn't able to add any more length onto the body, and so last time I had this didn't cover my baby bump. It was like my baby bump started around here and this just was to the top of it. So I don't even know, like, you know, like that. And now my belly button is here. So it covers my belly button. And then I did the ribbing of the desert rose and regular rose. Added onto the cuff. I folded the collar down and then just did a crochet slip stitch on it. And I did make some variations with the sleeves. The sleeves, I'll be honest, did frustrate me a bit. They're way too tight. How much stitches she went down to, way too tight. It was about 44 stitches for a 2X. So I followed a different pattern. I think it's called like the striped, retro striped sweater. It was in a Simply Knit magazine. And that for 2X caused for 54 stitches. So I changed, I don't know if you can, where is it? Here. I changed my decreases. So that's also in my Ravelry notes. Change how many decreases. But pretty much, I didn't do as rapid. I slowly decreased, as you can see. I think I wish there would have been more decreasing in the bulk of the sleeve. But it's more fluffier. What was it? I got distracted myself. I didn't do the curl, so I just have 3 rows of rows. 3 rows of rows. That's hard to say. The color. And then I just did the whole ribbing with the desert rose, so I can, when I wear this, I can be like, wow. When I was making this was the top of my baby bump, which is crazy, and I can't even imagine how that was. I do have some, let me grab it real quick, yarn left over. So I again have this in Ravelry, how much I have left. A little bit of the desert rose, almost a full skein, whoops, of the chestnut, you can see the little ball, and then a very little bit left of the regular rose. I was thinking I'll probably make a baby hat out of the brown. Not sure what I'll make out of these, but they'll sit in my yarn bin. And you can see I already have colors that match. But overall, I'm happy with the memories attached to this sweater. I really liked the working on the color work and the body. However, the sleeves, I did have to change the sleeves. I didn't like how the sleeves were written, and I didn't like how they worked out. However, the pattern was written fine. It could just be a personal thing. I don't know about the stitches because it just was way too tight. So I don't know if I just have bigger wrists, or what's all going on with that. I do know though, when I was a 2X, I'm not a 2X anymore, at least for my top half. But when I was a 2X, this didn't accommodate covering my stomach, and I do know other pattern testers did say the same thing. So when I was a 2X, it only called for 22 centimeters of length, and me, along with other people who were knitting, the other lady knitting a 2X also said she needed about 40. She needed doubled. And so this is I think around 27 centimeters, 27 or 29, and it's still cropped. It's still a cropped sweater compared to, like, you know, normally it would be more like here. So it is cropped, and I'm more of a large to extra large now. So that does, you know, say some about it. And the sleeves I just didn't really like, so I changed how the sleeves are, but that is in my notes. But that could just be a personal thing. I'm not sure. But yeah, it's crazy to think what this sweater has all done. I started this when I was pregnant. I started this when I was in Wales. Now I'm in England. Now I've had my baby. He's sleeping over there. That's why if I'm pointing to him sleeping over there. Yesterday, I finished the sweater yesterday, and yesterday he tried his first food, first solid food. He started babbling more, so he's going and instead of the normal just agu, which is, oh, I can't believe it. How is he, like, he's not an infant anymore, and that's crazy. It's crazy to me. I did color work, like actual color work for the first time. I read a chart for the first time. I made a gauge swatch for the first time. I did a pattern test for the first time. I did a fold down collar for the first time. What else? There was a lot of firsts in here for me, which it's just crazy to think like this sweater holds on all to that. Also, I know I'm talking, at least to me, I sound like I'm not talking how I normally sound. My wisdom tooth, my last wisdom tooth is coming in, which is very painful, and also affects how I talk. So I talk like I have a retainer in my mouth. I used to wear retainers, wear them at night and whatnot, but because I used to have braces. Fun fact, see my teeth? But yeah. So that's why I like the rows and rows. I'm struggling, man. I'm really struggling. But yeah, it took me a while. It didn't take me a year though. So I guess I'm happy with that. It's also, my son was 6 months old, painted my nails red, and I was like, I need to get this off my needles. I need to get this done. And I'm quite happy with how it turned out. Close up of the color work. I do really like it. Oh, also another thing that this sweater mementoed for me, if you can see it more, I learned I was knitting in twisted rib. You can see the change. So without doing the pattern test, when I was pattern testing, I was like, hey, why am I making holes here? Why is mine looking different? And they were like, you were doing twisted rib. Another lady ended up reaching out to me on Ravelry. And just said, hey, Alec, I've been looking at your stuff and just want to let you know, I don't know if you are doing this intentionally or not, which thank you for letting me know. However, I now knew. Back then when she said the pattern she was referring to and all that, I didn't know. But now I do know because the pattern test. So you can see in the sweater, you can see like this color was all twisted rib, and then you can tell like this is when I found out and I stopped doing it. But I did do twisted ribbing because I just feel like twisted ribbing looks nicer. It's, yeah, I just like twisted rib look. Because Famke said that I could continue. Also, I feel like this sleeve, I think I might have picked up more stitches, or is it just laying different? I don't know. She said I could have just continued the whole sweater in twisted rib, but I didn't want to because I wanted to like have that momentum. Not momentum. Memento of like, this is when I learned to do it. I also did German short rows in this, I think in the back. I did them wrong. I didn't know that until I worked on my shirt for the summer. I learned I've been doing German short rows around, but that's what this is all about, isn't it? Learning I mean, I learned to knit years ago, what, 9 years ago, but I stayed in my comfort zone. I didn't do much knitting, and now I'm more confident in my abilities, but I'm more confident in making mistakes and learning from them. I'm really happy about that. So yeah, I'm happy to say goodbye to the sweater from my needles and put it in my closet. And for Valentine's Day, I mean, I have to wait a whole nother year, but for Valentine's Day I'll be wearing the Lovette Sweater, and come fall, which hopefully should be coming in a little bit, I can start wearing knit sweaters, and I have 2 knit sweaters. So yeah, thank you so much for watching and coming on this journey with me. I think this is one of the longest projects. Nah, it's not. I crocheted a blanket for my sister, and that took about 2 years. So. But I'm trying to be a monogamous knitter, or monogamous, yeah, knitter. Like, I have one crochet project, one knitting project. I'm trying to work on that more, so I don't have a bunch of work in progresses just sitting in bins, because that's usually what happens. That's what happened to this poor baby. But again, thank you so much. I have a couple other videos if you want to watch me work on some other projects. If you want to subscribe, see me do more projects, that would be nice. If you want to like it, that would also be nice. And if you want to leave a comment about anything, I don't know, free will. Say what you want to say. I can't stop you. But yeah, I just keep saying thank you because I really don't know what to say. I guess this is like I'm from the Midwest originally, so a Midwest goodbye in it. So, bye!